I'm Barry Fentman Hall, an indeterminate fraction of the organisation that is Wordsmithery, and I am here today in the Halpin Pop Gallery in Rochester to talk to Rachel Moore about her project Who Would Welcome a Call, which is going to be part of the Welcome To project which Medway Council is running in the near future, which will be launching at the end of March. And Rachel is specifically going to be working in Strood. So, to begin with, could you tell me a little bit about the thing that you are making for the Welcome Project?
Yes, of course. So what I have done, I've got BT's permission to use the phonebox in Strood, next to the Strood Post Office, and I'm going to be filling 300 old green BT phone cards with people's memories of using phone boxes. So that might be conversations that they've had, it could be like really life-changing conversations, kind of just those mundane weekly calls that kind of got made. It could just be memories about using phone boxes. So for example, I've had one, someone said we used to phone the GPO number and we get something called dial-a-disc, and they can listen to the latest music.
Yeah, I was going to say that. It's like the thing about like phone boxes, they are an iconic piece of street furniture, and everywhere has them.
Yes.
I mean, it might not be a red one. Up near where I come from in Hull, they're white for some reason.
Okay.
No, I've never known why, but they are.
So the same shape as the red ones?
Yeah, they're exactly the same ones, but it's something to do with money years ago, but they're white. And we used to do dial-a-disc.
Yes.
I have been in there with my two Ps and 5Ps, as it was at that point, filing them in there, probably to listen to, I don't know, The Jam, or something like that. And I'm hoping you're going to get loads of that.
Yes, we've got some great ones already, kind of talking about, we've got memories from the 50s right through to the early 2000s.
Are you particularly asking people from the Strood area to give you their memories of that rather than, say for instance me listening to one in Yorkshire?
Yeah, correct. So it's people that live and work in Strood currently or have previously lived and worked in Strood. There'll be a few others kind of thrown into the mix, but the majority of those will be coming from Strood. So later on today I'm going to trudge around in the rain with my leaflets, with my iPad, getting people's memories, talking to people on the street, and also going into all the shops and talking to business.
I think you'll find they're a friendly bunch.
Yes.
Strood takes me that way, that's the way I find it.
Yeah, well I used to work in Strood too, so I've put one of my memories in as well.
Great. You seem to have an affinity with phone boxes. There's one not very far from here that you are curating the art that goes in it. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, funny you should say that. So I run, with Vanessa who works at Nucleus, I run Medway Art Box, which is a red BT phone box, which we took over just in the December 2020 lockdown. Because our exhibition had been cancelled, we decided that if we can't put on art, then we'll take art to the people. So we roped in a few other artists, amazing Nucleus artists, and we filled the phone box up with art. And the idea behind that is that people, the artists gift work, and then art lovers who are passing by or kind of come into the phone box as a destination place, take the art all for the price of a shout out on social media.
Brilliant, because we always drop in.
Oh, that's really good to know.
Every time we come to this area, we actually made a point of it. We got about 15 minutes early. Shall we go and have a look in the phone box first?
We've got an amazing one. So in the phone box at the moment is our first solo artist show. Dan Gardner, who does street photography, and he's very kindly lent us his latest book, so people can flick through the book, and also he's very generously gifted lots of prints from the book so people can take.
I'm vaguely remembering that name. Is he the one who's done the art book of scenes of Rochester recently?
Yes, so it's called High Street Happening, his book.
We have it in the library.
Brilliant.
It's been, and it's one of those where it sort of fell into the hands of librarians immediately, and they all took it out before anyone else got to see it.
Oh, well, now
I'll
let him know that.
They just, I want to see this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, they all wanted to know if they were in it. That's the main thing. First thing.
Did they get packed?
Absolutely. So any time you do anything local, if it talks about local people, the first thing they want to know is whether they're actually in there.
Yeah.
And it is. I saw it. It's really great.
And it's two of a trilogy. The first one was Walking Wainscot, which I've got as well, which is great. Yeah.
I love Wainscot.
Yes,
it's got some favourite places.
Yeah, really gorgeous shots. And kind of misty. Yeah, misty fields.
I mean, we are in we are in a room surrounded by various examples of your art, and I wouldn't say it absolutely corresponds to a genre in any way. There's certainly some things in here that I really like, particularly the sort of compound umbrals over my shoulder. I do love one of them. I love those things. It could be just a nice flower, or it could be something that can kill you.
Yes. They do range, don't they?
Just a little bit. So what could you sort of tell us a little bit about how your general practice sort of feeds into what you're doing for Welcome to Scrooge?
I'm guessing it doesn't really, if I'm totally honest.
Be honest. Be honest is the best policy.
Yeah, so I did look at the project and think, how can I put printmaking in? And I really wanted to involve the community and get engagement and kind of try and get some sort of cross-generational conversations going as well. And the only way I could think of was, rather than do it with print, doing it with actual phone cards and putting the memories on those. So although my practice doesn't really relate to the project that I'm doing, it's something that's very sort of close to my heart, and I'm really interested in social history, especially those kind of little memories that just, if they're not recorded, they're just going to get lost. So for example, my mum and dad have put a couple of memories in, and I've learned stuff about them that I didn't know, and if I hadn't been doing this project, I might never have known
and
about
to a certain extent, you catch on the history of a sort of fading technology, because you see less and less phone boxes now. Certainly, everyone's got a mobile phone. I can't remember the last time I saw a phone card. I don't know if they're still a thing.
No, they're not. 20 years ago this year, they went out of production.
But you still do see, I love to see an old phone box, because you still see the old designs, you still see stuff that Telecom haven't used for years.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, it has an emotional pull.
It does. It's like you're saying, it's part of street furniture, but so many people have never used a phone box before.
I can't remember the last time.
No, me neither.
I kind of like to see them overgrown a little bit sometimes, because it's just, I want them to stay, but I want them to just kind of become like ornamental furniture with like leaves growing through them and everything.
Yeah, I know what you mean. We've kind of got that dilemma with Medway Art Box. We kind of quite like the rough and readiness of, the gallery that's not pretentious.
Yeah.
It's very accessible to people. It's a recognisable structure. But we want it to look nice, so that, because I think things do get vandalised if they don't look like they're being looked after. So we want it to look nice, but we're at this kind of crossroads of how much do we kind of change it to being pristine, but without losing that sort of first.
I used to live in Hackney. That fine line between keeping it real and not making it look really frightening. Yeah. That was definitely a thing then. So, I mean, apart from around here, I mean, where can we see more of your work?
So I mainly run printmaking workshops. That's my kind of bread and butter.
So are we allowed to talk about Print Club?
Yes, we can talk
we can talk about Print Club.
Yes. Good. The first rule of Print Club is you can talk about
Excellent.
Print Club.
I was hoping so, otherwise we'd have had silence for the next
minute or so.
It
would be a very short interview, wouldn't it?
Yes. So when is the next one's coming up on that?
So the next one is the 18th of March. I'm just looking across at my leaflet now.
I'm guessing I would, if it was me, I'd have to have one of my own leaflets in front of me now as well.
I've been so busy with everything, with getting the gallery together, with the Welcome project. Yeah, I've just about managed to put all the dates in for Print Club for the next kind of few months. But Print Club actually came out of lockdown. People, as we know, we were all just at home. We wanted something to do. Zoom suddenly was something that everyone found and worked with, and I just decided to run sort of a print club every month, the third Friday of every month. There's two. There's one in the morning, which is called Pop Drinks and Inks. So if you can kind of make a morning one, then that's great. That's sort of 11 o'clock, just for an hour, trying a different print technique every month. Don't have to get sort of too much stuff together. I try and make it as sort of accessible as possible. So it might just be a few bits you might have laying around at home. There might be the odd kind of specific piece of equipment or material that you need to buy, but I always try and keep it sort of fairly inexpensive. And then there's one later on in the evening on the same day at 6 o'clock, and that's Print and Prosecco. So they're both very
sounds
kind of
more my kind of thing.
But they're both very relaxed, laid back. I've got a really nice little following, but we're always welcome to new members.
I like faffing with liner cuts. I'm no good at it.
It doesn't matter, does it?
It's because I feel there's been a kind of poety thing where people have done that down the years, and Bill Lewis and all of those folks.
Yeah.
And Billy, it's like, right, I should have a go at this.
Yeah. I don't think it matters what it looks like, it's have you enjoyed the process. And I think printmaking is all about the process.
I love the way it looks. I always do love the way it looks.
I've always drawn to lino cuts. I think if I go to an exhibition, it's always the lino cut because they look so raw.
I used to love woodcuts years ago. I don't know if you do any of them.
I don't do woodcuts.
I was a big fan of clay lighting for years. But anyway, that's another story. Welcome to Strood is going to officially launch on the 26th of March.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
It's not many sleeps to go.
No, it is not at all. It's not at all, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of sleep for many of us. How can people before that get their views and their memories to you?
Okay, so I've given myself the deadline of the 16th of March because then after that I've got to get them all printed.
That's very soon, folks. Get on with it.
It is, yeah. So it's just 2 weeks today, in fact. So all I need to do is go to my website, iprintedthat.com.
Brilliant.
The second kind of story down is how to submit your memory. Click on that, that will take you through to, it gives a little bit of explanation about the project. There's a form, Google Docs form to click onto, complete the memory in 80 words or less. I also ask if they want to have their name put on, just their first name, and also I quite like the idea that I get a year as well, an approximate year of when the memory was from. I also ask, just for our records, if they live, work in Strood or have lived and worked in Strood. And then they can sign up as well, just to find out sort of how the project's going, just weekly little updates. And also we've got the big launch on the 26th with lots of other things going on, workshops, events all over Strood and Raynham. So so they'll find out about that too.
Marvellous. Well, I think we know all about it now.
Good.
Thank you, Rachel.
That's all right, you're welcome. Thank you so much for coming.